Hello everyone, this is BumbleBear, and this is the Bear Cave. Welcome back. We are continuing with Banner Saga Part 2, and yeah, so let's get started guys, thanks for coming back. There they are, gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out of the hall's windows into the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Wagner. Next for Varl Kingship last we spoke. The other flag? Looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long? Things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me. The governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask you one more favor? What is it? If you happen to stall our guests down on their docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Valgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Look at those ships. Pretty sweet coming in there on the mist. Docks. Wagner. A familiar Varl steps into the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version, tramping the halls of Grafheim, abundant in purpose. Gods, Ubin, you're looking ancient. Comes to being old. If there is Wagner, there must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks? At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Gerunder demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grafheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were this so far from home. Just returning from harboring, in fact. I'm glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grafheim. I have the distinct feeling I'm finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where's Mogiar? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mogiar. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grafheim should be more interesting than most years, you think? Wariness suddenly settles in and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're looking to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or even introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. So, here in this part of the game, guys, I think I mentioned this, these guys will travel along until they get to an area where they'll stop at of importance. These guys are just sort of detail right now. I could go to the Great Hall immediately, but you want to talk to anyone in these little chat bubbles that pop up. Doesn't matter what order you choose for these throughout the rest of the game. So long as you do it, more interesting things can be known and discovered. Scrivener. You find Hakon in the meat house, surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Flagon? Flagon, flagon, flargon. Flargon, vargon, vargon, vargon? Sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that. I should. I vaguely remember how, but I don't. So, what can a man do? Except drink some mead. So, Wagner's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here to the Great Hall, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha! Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yox fart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon let slip a low chuckle. Hakon let slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds. Known as he is for cutting a swath through the dredge Wagner's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grafheim. Soon enough, I'd imagine. You drink until the meat house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. Prince Luden. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Luden. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Luden. Yes, you're with Wagner? I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grafheim with my guards. Luden looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I hope to learn more about you. Oh well, you see, you seem to know who I am. Do you have what you need? So I do. I won't keep you. You leave wordlessly. It seems clear that Luden was in no mood to talk. Or he's a miserable cur. To the Great Hall! Away! At dawn you're awoken by delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers, all there just as promised. To your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Plus 20 renown. Your guards take a treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already there. A while later, Luden and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Mugger steps forward, Wagner's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. You follow Mugger and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set to the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the government expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. Summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think. Apologize, guys, for my constant clearing of my voice and scratchiness. I think I'm losing my voice. I've had to make several recreations of this episode, as I've found, for whatever reason, corrupted in OBS, and I don't understand why. I'm not that tech savvy, obviously, so for now, I guess we'll just try to enjoy this, and I hope you'll just kind of be patient and understanding of my poor, tired, old voice. So yeah. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says ʻflæɡ.ən, cracking open mead casks. From our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. I'm gonna drink a lot. Toast to ʻflæɡ.ən, drink a lot. Toast to ʻflæɡ.ən, toast to ʻflæɡ.ən. Yeah. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between a man and Varl. The others join in. Ludin's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually you sit down beside ʻflæɡ.ən. Chat with ʻflæɡ.ən. Thanks for the speech, slurs ʻflæɡ.ən. Looks like you don't have to miss out after all. Thanks to ʻflæɡ.ən. I thought the damned governor would never shut up. Did he give you a history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you too. God says no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Ludin? Hopefully the boy goes back to harboring on his own, and I can take out some frustration on Dredge, or something. It's starting to sound like Hakon. You don't like the life of a diplomat? Don't you miss the fight, Ubin? You down your mead instead of replying. ʻflæɡ.ən slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing Dredge, but this... Pretty sure this nonsense is in some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be, warriors would follow you for what you've done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm the next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. They've always been muddy, ʻflæɡ.ən. ʻflæɡ.ən stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. You rise groggily. The campsite of Casualty. Campsite a casualty. Wow, holy crap! I'm gonna edit that if I can. Which means I'm probably not. You guys can just enjoy my stumbling and fumbling over my words. Casualty of merriment. ʻflæɡ.ən is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking in your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge ʻflæɡ.ən. You're needed. Ah, it's Ludin. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. ʻflæɡ.ən releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grafheim? We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you a map. So, here's the awesome map of Banner Saga, their world. Basically, if you click, you can drag it around, and there are different areas, such as this, etc. You can hover over the mountains, towns, lakes, little ports, things like that, forests, and even, I think, certain trails and paths, yeah. And basically read up all about them if you want to. You sadly will not be going to even half of these places in the game. But it's really cool that the developers included all this for, I believe, likely future use. So for those of you who love to get into kind of like, you know, role-playing or kind of just really get into the game itself and its lore and legend, games in general, this is kind of the thing for you. Me, myself, I actually went through all of these and read up on them. Yeah, I know, I'm a nerd. What can you do? But, I don't know, be proud, shout, you know, do all that wonderful nerd thing that people do now. So yeah, cool map. It's not really all that useful, to be honest, except for kind of reading up on stuff, preparing yourself for future issues in the travels. We head north, then east past the forts. Grafheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Ludin. Why not take the ships to Skirmerstead? What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skirmerstead. Half-sunken sea, crawling with dredge. Prince? Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludin exhales through his nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Fafnir. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off to. Ludin's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Fafnir. Let's get moving. Another half day to Vetterfeld if we're lucky. Camp. You can pass the time using the rest button, click on your heroes, tap leave when you're ready. So here's all the heroes. You can move items, upgrade your heroes, switch them around for combat later. Training is if you just want to try out some cool stuff, new heroes, combat maneuvers, specials you're unsure about. You click rest to rest. It takes up a day of supplies, but it boosts your morale typically, and good morale is useful for winning battles and not losing the large number of clansmen or fighters or Varl in your caravan, which I'll kind of explain later as that happens. And here is the fuzzy Yox of leaving, and you just pet his adorable cute little fuzzy head and you get to leave. So to the hero tent. Okay, so here are the heroes. Gunnulf is ready for a promotion. Mogear, Gunnulf. Okay, so Gunnulf is the only one. I'm not actually going to promote him, not just yet, because, you know, I kind of want to upgrade like Hakon and Mogear, who, although they don't do as much immediate damage, they kind of have a habit of being more well-rounded. Mogear is sort of like, well, he's a shield master, as you learned earlier. They have a tendency to absorb a lot of damage due to their special, oh, actually, no, he doesn't have that, but he has Bring the Pain. So, basically, if someone attacks, he returns the favor. So, rank 1, +1, +2, +3. Everyone has a special. You saw Gunnulf's, which is Tempest. Impale, basically Ludin impales someone, and he kicks them, and they move back one space. If they move after, they actually take damage for each space they go through. Pretty useful against, in the future you'll discover, against slingers, archers, those kind of things. Hakon, basically +1 to break or to heavy impact. You do more damage, you break their armor, you hurt their health, and it, I believe, damages others in the vicinity. There's also, what do you call them? Constant specials, or whatever they're called. They're in the background at all times. So there's Return the Favor. He attacks back. Heavy Impact also. And Embolden. Each kill Spearman makes encourages allies to fight harder. They get extra willpower. So yeah. Once more, those are the points you get. And we're going to leave. I didn't spend too much time camping, unless I really need to.
Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
It's a peasant. An old peasant. A Hedborg. That's a lot of Varl for some missing cattle. What? A couple days back, sent a word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself until it sinks in that you aren't here on his behalf. Or have the cattle gone? Wouldn't know. My boys seen men up on the hills carrying them away. Don't know how many many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. There's goblins out here, maybe? Could have Varro working for them. Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to take a look around and get camp set up. The peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about as the caravan sets up tents. We'll be here no more than a day. There's silver for any food you've got. For hundreds of Varro? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple of hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up! You hear that? Where's Ludin? It's faint. Sounds of fighting and something else. Hakon takes off and runs. So here you can see that you can actually sort of direct characters to move at certain angles, like in an L shape, etc. And that's pretty useful for dodging traps or just things you know that the enemy are going to do. I think I told you this, but Ludin is a spearman, and he can, because of that, he can attack it diagonally, whereas no one else can. Pretty useful. I'd like to armor break, but I'm not supposed to due to storiness. See, deflected. Ludin goes down in one hit. Go see the pains of Prince. And Hakon is going to go there. Sunders. Well, not Sunder, but he's gonna break off some armor. So there are different types of dredge, and the dredgers are these kind of creepy, unknown creatures. They wear mostly stone, some metal, and some cloth, but mostly stone armor that flex and kind of ricochets and off like shrapnel into each other when they're next to each other. So when you hit one, it kind of ricochets in the stream, hitting others, which is pretty useful. These are kind of standard ones. These are grunts, not too special, and pretty easy. This is a dredge brute, although he looks like he's... oh, no, that was Herpter. Dredge brutes are a lot harder, especially if you get hit with their attack before you get a chance to knock down their strength. And we are going to move Gunnulf right here, and take a swing. Distract him from Gunnulf. Although I don't know if that'll actually do anything. And he's gonna run. They do that weird hand sort of shake away thing with their swords. It's kind of really awkward. And they summon another ally. That eventually comes in a turn or two. Usually they're not as strong, they're usually grunts or something like. I don't believe I've ever seen them summon something of equal or greater power to themselves. And I'm actually going to attack here because I don't really care if he summons someone else, because I really like it. I enjoy battle. Battle should be enjoyed. It is not to be feared. Now we have one willpower. When you slay someone, you get a willpower point. You can use this on the active ally. So basically, if Gunnulf needed more willpower, I could activate him and use him as such. I'm not actually going to use him as such because Gunnulf's special is only good for 2 people, and he's really damaged right now. So. Use that on him because why not? And Sunder. Gunnulf, run! Okay, I'm gonna move him here to protect Gunnulf. Not the best strategy, but it's better to not allow allies to fall in battle. If they don't permanently die, that can only happen through poor decision making in the story choices. But while in combat, they do pass out, and essentially makes your team less effective. And considering they usually need a day or even up to a few days to heal, that can be rather detrimental to your party's future combat involvement. BumbleBear goes up level. And I'm gonna move here. No. Oh, don't do it! Don't do it! Oh, that was a poor decision on my part. I shouldn't have done that. What can you do when you're a buffalo? Oh my gosh, I don't know how that happened. And he's gonna kill Gunnulf. Yep. Okay. Oh well, I'm a failure. You guys already knew that, so who cares? Yeah, let's take out him. Bring him down to 1. This guy's already pretty commonly effective anyways. Give Gunnulf, I mean, and let Hakon finish it. So as I mentioned, renown goes up generally in the battles. I think the more dredge or bandits or whatever you kill, the more renown you get. Although in like story sequences like this, it seems to be preset to a fairly low number, which kind of annoys me, because sometimes you fight some pretty powerful enemies, and just because it's a story, sort of a mandatory fight, they give you like 6 or 8 renown for no reason in particular. And so yeah, I believe that is the end of our episode for now. Thank you guys. This is the Banner Saga. Once more, I'm BumbleBear, and welcome. Thanks for coming to the Bear Cave. Hope you come back. Thanks. Bye.